Hey guys, what's up? Hikerino here. You may know this feeling. You just heard about a new hiking trail, you are really pumped and you want to hike it no matter what. I've been in this situation already twice. 5 or 6 years ago I heard about the Appalachian Trail. They said it's a 2,000-mile footpath across the American wilderness and it's gonna take you about 6 months. I was completely fascinated by it, but back then I was still in my apprenticeship and therefore I didn't have any money or time. And most importantly, I had no experience at all with hiking. But in 2013, a former work colleague of mine, she told a story about a friend of her who hiked the Camino de Santiago in Spain. And once again, I was hooked. I read a book from a very famous German comedian who hiked it in 2002. And long story short, a couple of months later, I was in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, the starting point of the Camino, and I did the math beforehand. It was 500 miles. I had 25 days of hiking available, and therefore I had to hike on average 20 miles per day to do it. So yeah, this is one approach. The other approach is you know your comfort zone, you don't want to step outside of it without changing too much with your gear, etc. And yeah, let's say your comfort zone is 10 miles per day, you have 10 days available, so you're gonna choose a hiking trail that is about 100 miles long. That is the second approach. Then what else do you have to consider? Of course, your level of experience. Let's say you wanna climb a mountain, so this is an example of mountaineering. You don't wanna start with the Mount Everest, right? So yeah, it's the same with hiking. You don't want to start with a very difficult hiking trail. You want to start easy and then progress slowly over the time. What makes a trail difficult? What makes it easy? There are a couple of factors to consider. First of all, I think the profile is very important. Is it constantly up and down? How is the surface? That's another big thing. Like, do you have to really be careful and watching your steps, or is it just flat, like the Pilgrim Highway in Spain? And yeah, another big thing, the infrastructure. Some people don't want to sleep in tents, they prefer their bed every night. So yeah, that has a huge effect on which trail you will choose. Then the distances between resupplies. Like on the Camino de Santiago, you can resupply basically every few hours. On the Appalachian Trail, on the other hand, you have to carry your food for 3 or 5 days or even more, depending on how fast you are. Another criterion to keep in mind is the water situation. On the Appalachian Trail and on the Camino de Santiago, we pretty much never had any real issues carrying water because there was water everywhere. It can get a little bit different when you go to the Pacific Crest Trail, especially in the desert of California. You have to carry sometimes a lot of water for up to 30 miles. So people carry like 10 liters of water, which is incredibly heavy. And yeah, if you are more like a camper, which I discussed in my previous video, you will figure out you have to carry even more water because the 30 miles will probably a distance for 2 days. So yeah, you might consider becoming more like a hiker. Well, these are the main factors when you are looking for the next trail to hike. Of course, this wasn't a complete list and I wanted to keep it a little bit simple so that I don't confuse you even more. To wrap things up, especially if you are a beginner, choose an easy trail to get started and slowly progress with the time. And yeah, that was it. Looking forward to the next video. Until next time, see ya.